This is the Whole Care Network. Helping you tell your story one podcast at a time. Content presented in the following podcast is for information purposes only. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the host and guest and may not represent the views and opinions of the Whole Care Network. Always consult with your physician for any medical advice, and always consult with your attorney for any legal advice. And thank you for listening to the Whole Care Network.
My friend, welcome to A Time to Care the Caregivers podcast. I am Isabel, your host, and I am delighted to have you here today with me. Have you ever wondered your life is going to look like in the future? I'm pretty sure you have, because we all do, and we all wish for a lot of things that sometimes they don't become a reality, but hey, let's figure out how to make things happen. Let's get started. I've recently finished my first cohort with a lot of beautiful women that decided to join me in my first lab. And yes, you heard correctly. It was a lab. And the reason why I called it a lab is because I wanted people to come and have the opportunity to play with life. I didn't want just things to be rigid and fluid and this is what you're supposed to be. Because life is about researching. Life is about coming with solutions. And if something doesn't work, find another way of doing things. So that's why I called it a lab. And while I was designing this, the first session was all about thinking about the future and thinking about what we expected from our role as a caregiver, or as our role as the person receiving care. And I find it very interesting because most of the time we get excited about planning trips or the next time of our big goals. We get excited if we're going to buy a new house and how we're going to decorate it and what we're going to put and how it is going to look like. We get excited if it's a trip and we're planning what we're going to do, which places we want to visit, where we want to eat, what we want to experience. So we have all these things and excitement that it's really fun and it's going to be amazing. And then we have, when we finish college, we get excited about our first job and how we're going to develop in our career and what comes next. When we retire, we get excited about being able to travel the world and visit new places and maybe start that hobby that we haven't had time of picking up. So we get excited about many things in our lives, but we very rarely get excited about planning care. Honestly, it is not exciting at all. It is tough. It is overwhelming, and it's something that we really don't want. But we can make it the best time in our lives. And we can make it a season in our lives in which we share who we are and where we connect with those we love and where we learn to love ourselves even more. And I'm saying this because when you put yourself in a situation in which you need care or you need to provide care, you become very humble or you end up crashing. So for me, it is this time in life, I think, allows us to to really meet ourselves and to really know what we want in life. Because it is in those moments in which we're overwhelmed that we can design and plan and make sure that whatever we want in life, we can achieve. So today I want you to think, and this is going to be sort of like a meditation. And if you have time, I would like for you to pause right now and go grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. I don't know, whatever your favorite drink is. Go grab your favorite drink and come back with a journal and a pen to write. Because I want this to be a moment for you. And obviously, if you're driving, you can come back to this episode later. But I do want this to be a time for you to connect with yourself and understand what you want in life. So the first thing that I want you to do is to close your eyes and take a big breath in. And while you're doing it, I want you to set an intention for this moment. And once you have that intention, I want you to breathe out, let all that air go, let all that discomfort go, and be ready to do this exercise. So first of all, how do you imagine it would be for you to be a caregiver? So take some time to write down how you expected it. Were you expecting to be a caregiver, or it just happened? And I want you to take some time about how you came into this position. Just think about it. Think about the situations in life that got you where you are. And take some time to write about those. And you can stop right now and keep listening to me in a little bit whenever you're done. What I would do and what I would suggest you doing is that you set a timer and start writing for 5 or 10 minutes. I wouldn't write more than that. Otherwise, your hand is going to fall off. But go ahead and stop, and we're going to keep going in a little bit. So now that you wrote, what did you discover about yourself? Was it something that you were planning? Are you happy? Are you honored? How do you feel about this? Think about all the emotions that come with what you wrote. And I know that it's not just one. You don't feel happy, and that's it. You don't feel overwhelmed, and that's it. We have a mix of emotions when big things happen in our life. So I want you to pay attention to those and probably go back to what you wrote and make a list of all the feelings that you have from that experience. So again, take a couple of minutes, take a sip of your favorite drink, and go through those emotions and write them down. And now that you're ready, are there any emotions that you would like to change? Are there any feelings that you would like to change? And if there's anything that you would like to change, why would you like to change it? I know that sometimes we would say, like, I don't want to feel sad about noticing the health decline of someone that I love or my own health decline. We wants to see that, and nobody wants to be sad about that. But what would you change about it right now that it's not a constructive feeling? Is your sadness is so much and so overwhelming that it's not healthy? Then you might want to change that sadness. You might want to change feeling overwhelmed or guilty. Make a list of all those feelings you want to change. And most importantly, take time to analyze why you want to change those feelings. And obviously you're going to say, because I don't want feeling them, but that is not a good reason. They are there for something, and feelings protect us. So if we feel fear, we will run away from the lion and we will be safe. Maybe you honk and you feel fear because you saw a ball crossing the road and your instincts will tell you to stop the car and avoid running over a kid. Whatever it is, feelings are there to protect us. So I want you to take some time and analyze why you want to change those feelings. And make sure to think about why are those feelings there for you in the first place? How are those feelings protecting you? Be very gracious with yourself. And I'm saying this, and I am probably one of the hardest persons with themselves that I know. But be gracious with yourself. Even if I don't follow a lot of the times that advice with myself, I would encourage you to be kind and go into that place with a lot of curiosity. So take some time and come back in a little bit. So how did that feel? What did you discover about yourself? Did you have an aha moment? I hope you did. And if you did, I would love for you to leave your comments here on YouTube. That's amazing. Now we can talk back and forth. If you're following us on other platforms, you can jump on YouTube and leave your comments. I would love to read what you discover about yourself. If you don't want to share it, that's okay. Now that you know what are your feelings, what are causing them, and why you want to change them, besides the obvious reasons that you don't want to feel uncomfortable with those feelings, now you can start planning your future. And think, this is my last request. So once you're done with all this journaling, I want you to take some time and think about things that you can change today so you start feeling different. I'm going to say an example that I've been working on lately, which is my eating habits, which are horrible. And for the past year and a half, where I've been actively trying to lose weight, I've been just condemning myself every time that my diet is not perfect. And that is not sustainable for me and probably for nobody else. So one of the things that I started working about a month ago, and probably even less, I started working with a line where I work the fact that I deserve love, care, joy, and abundance. And I will make another podcast all about this. But going back to me working on my eating habits, every time that I eat some dessert or chips or something that I really like, what I tell myself is, you already have all this healthy food. This is food that brings you joy and you deserve it. So I want you to do the same with you. If there's something that you really don't want to feel, I want you to go ahead and think how you can change those perspectives and the things that you're feeding yourself over and over, what you're telling yourself about those facts. So if you're feeling guilty about snapping all the time, maybe you want to start being gracious with yourself and telling people get anxious, people get overwhelmed, and people snap at each other. If you feel that sadness is getting overwhelming, maybe you want to start with, yes, these situations that I'm living at home are sad and I deserve to feel my feelings and then experience some joy in some other ways. I want you to go and play with this and see how you're feeling. And if something is not working, if something doesn't feel right, come back to this episode and do this exercise again, because I know it's going to help you a lot. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead, give us a like, follow us, and leave a comment, because I would love to hear from you. See you next week.